Hey guys, Lieutenant Dan here with an update on my BBR 4.1 Lieutenant Dan map. I've been, the creative juices have been flowing in the last couple weeks. And as you know, this 4.1 version that I have is not out yet. It's still in process. My goal is to have this out by the end of April-ish time frame. Pending on any changes that the sires are going to be making. But anyway, that's the goal that I'm shooting for. And but anyway, I've been adding some really cool things, and I just wanted to do a quick video to show you what I've been up to. All right, so if you recall, let me just zoom out here. I had on each main ocean or sea, I had a battle. Like over here, I had the Pearl Harbor attack. Over here was the Indian Ocean raid. Up here was the hunt for the Bismarck. And then over here was always empty. And, there was this one battle that happened really early on in 39. But at the time, I just didn't have, I didn't have the heart to put it in there. But it was always in the back of my mind to do that. But, so I got it done tonight, and I'm really pumped because it looks so awesome. So basically, what it was a German heavy cruiser called the Admiral Grafspee, and it was sent out to raid enemy convoy ships. And so I just documented, on a timeline where it was at certain points in time. And then things that happened along the way. For example, capturing all of the goods. Really they were acting like pirates, right? They would go and like a carjacking. They would hold the ship by gunpoint, make all of the crew members board the cruiser, the German cruiser, and hold them as prisoners, and then they would sink the ship after they took all the, all the goods that they could repurpose. But anyway, the main idea was to disrupt the shipping. They wouldn't kill anybody. They would typically either transport them in the transport ship, or they would put them in life rafts and send them on their way to a coast like South America or Africa or something like that. So anyway, I just documented all the ships that they had sunk along the way. They went all the way to the bottom of Africa, and then they went back to the South Atlantic. They were being hunted by the UK force groups, and there was 5 groups that were hunting for them, and they did finally catch up to them. So on their way back to, they were going to go to the port in Montevideo in Uruguay, and right here is where they got intercepted by 3 UK cruisers. And so what you see here is kind of something that I've been playing around with in my head, and how to document battles that were on a very small scale. This actually happened about 300 miles off the coast. And then, of course, this isn't to scale, but the actual maneuvers and things like that were only about 20 miles in diameter. And so, it just didn't make sense to have this huge battle out here without indicating that, you're looking at like a magnifying glass. And so I was playing around with different things, and this is what I came up with. And I think it looks pretty cool. So I have on a time scale, here's the UK movements. I was documenting where the ships got hit, where they were launching torpedoes, These are smoke screens that the Admiral Grafspee was using to evade being hit. And anyway, so on a time scale, I just documented everything that happened. So it came out really cool. Really excited about that. All right, so a couple other things while I'm here. My good friend Matthias wanted to have this turn order put on the map, and I thought a good place to put it would be on the top of my legend. The IPC values are not 100% correct, but I thought it would be good to include it on the map because, a lot of people don't have tables. And, I'm fortunate to have one, and I, can have the order on my table. But this is a good, I think it looks pretty, nice. So anyway, what else here? Let me go to over here on the Pacific side. I just got done with this one, and it was pretty quick, and I'd always wanted to have it on here, but it was the, the missions, or really is a daily airlifting of cargo from India to China. And it started in 42 to 45, when the Burma Road got cut off. So this is how the Allies were able to supply China. And during that time period, there was a ton of aircraft that were lost and a lot of people that died. But I wanted to document that. And so there you go. All right, let me kind of go over here. Oh, here's, I added this for Moose Cow. He wanted to have indications on the map where the Chinese could go in the southeast. So I put these kind of weathered looking roundels in the, 5 different, Malaya here, Thailand, and so on. And so that's just a kind of a visual so that you don't have to go to the rule book. So I thought that looked pretty good. So that was a good idea. So I went ahead and did it. Here in the Palau Islands, I kind of took that effect that I did for the South Atlantic with a magnifying glass and made it look like, I'm zooming in on this island because where all the action took place when they did the invasion, when the Allies invaded the Palau Islands, was on a really small island. It was like about the size of this island that you see right here, this Anguar. But I couldn't document all that. So this was the out of the box island per se, but I tweaked it to make it look like the island, and then I added all the battle details. But I do like Sired's islands that he has added. They look more realistic. However, I wouldn't be able to get this information in here, so I'm still in process and figuring out how I want to get his islands in here, and then still keep this kind of magnifying glass look so that it's like a zoomed in look on that island, which, I'm thinking this, really looks cool, and I can do that in a lot of different areas, where the islands are so small and you couldn't really detail out things. So my creative juices are flowing, and I have ideas for other islands to really map out different battles that took place. Over here in the Solomon Islands, this is about 95% done, but basically I took Sired's Islands. They look really awesome because they're proportionally correct, and the old out of the box way, everything was just kind of smashed together, and it was really hard for me to detail out all the ships that were sunk there. And I don't know if a lot of you know this, but this was called a iron bottom. I don't know, something like some. But anyway, there's just like a ton of ships that were sunk there, and it's really hard to document all that. But in doing adding Sired's islands here, that created a lot of extra work for me, and I had to go back and figure out exactly where the position of the ships were, where they sunk. So it does look a lot nicer, for sure. It did kind of clean it up a little bit, but it really looks. I think it really looks nice. In doing so, I had always remembered about an operation called Vengeance, where we intercepted messages. The Allies, the U.S., intercepted some messages from Japan on a trip of Admiral Yamamoto, who was going to be flying in a Betty bomber, basically, from, I don't know, somewhere. I think it was from this island. He was going to be flying into this area that I have indicated, and so they took they formulated a mission, a plan with a bunch of P-38s, and they intercepted the fighters that were escorting the bombers. There were two of them, and those P-38s shot down basically shot down all the bombers, and as well as many of the fighters. Okay, and let's see what else. And the last thing is the Lend-Lease. So I took the I took the ship that Sired had made, and it was always sailing to the U.S., and I flipped it so it's sailing to Amur, or to the Soviet Union, and I put on different material. Some money, I have a mech, an artillery, because there was a tank on here, and a tank is not acceptable in Amur. So when you roll the die, that's not an option. And, speaking of rolling the die, you always have to go find that card to know, I don't remember stuff. So I thought, I'll put those on the map somehow. And I'm about 90% on the icons that I have on here. I think they look pretty good. I'm not sure about the placement yet, but what I do like about the whole idea that I had is that, these are the items that are available to put on Amur. So when you roll the die, if the C-zone is not blocked, then, you'll know that you can do $7 or a mech or whatever, right? Based on your dice roll. And then I did the same for Archangel. So I took the applicable units, and then I put a Sherman here as opposed to, it looked like a Russian tank or something like that. So I put a Sherman tank here and put a destroyer out here in the water. And then I also changed the Lend-Lease ship to have the appropriate material on there as opposed to just one tank. And it was, like I said, that it looked like a, I don't know, I don't know the exact name, or the model of the Russian tank. But anyway, I just put in a Sherman tank here. So, all right. I'm going to cut this video short. I could go on for hours on this thing because there's just so much information that I put on here, and I'm just loving how this map has evolved over the last couple years. All right, so stay tuned for some updates between now and the end of April. So until then, take care.